Welcome to Creative Living, where we help you live your most creative life. I'm Jane Klaus. Grilling and summer go hand in hand, and we're getting you in the mood to barbecue. But before we fire up the grill, let's take a look at what's on the show. We get design advice for your outdoor space and tips for a successful grilling season. Plus, we head to the Verde Valley for a kayaking trip. All that and more on this episode of Creative Living. If you haven't pulled out the grill yet, it's time. And here to give us some tips on successful grilling is Rod McConnell from Midwestern Meats. We like to call him Mr. Sizzle. How you doing?
Jane, I am great, and thank you for having me on. I love talking about grilling.
And we love to get your advice. Now, Mr. Sizzle, we know that summer and grilling go hand in hand. So if we're ready to get out there and start grilling, how do we prep our grills?
Jane, it's critical. Just like your kitchen or just like a restaurant, you have to be ready. How are you ready? You have to be clean your grill, and make sure it's working. So before the season starts, clean it, make sure it's working. Grills aren't very complicated, so it's easy to do, and the rest of your whole season, smooth.
Okay, so what are your tips on cleaning the grill?
Jane, you know me, you guys, I've talked about all the time, I'm a simple guy. So you know what you need, Jane? It's simple. A bucket of water and Dawn soap, and you may need a little scraper and a little degreaser. And then the rest is just elbow grease, Jane. Just go to town. If you do it regularly, it's not very hard to do. Your grates on the top, you're gonna burn those clean, right? Real easy to do. You do it almost every time you grill. The plates, the heat plates underneath, you pull them out, you can rub them, scrape them, and a shop vac. Just suck out all the loose stuff that's accumulated. Once you do that, a half hour, you've got a perfectly clean grill. Makes your season go smooth.
I love it. Okay, let's get to the grilling part. What are our must-have tools?
Okay, Jay, now again, I'm a simple guy, so must-have tools. Number one, tongs. Gotta have tongs. Now listen, you see all those tongs, right? These big tongs, like this. No, go to the restaurant supply. Spend $5 on a restaurant-style tong. It'll last forever. It works great. Really simple. Gotta have a tong. Of course, you gotta have a flipper. Now, you've seen those too, right? They're this long. You know, you're flipping like a shovel. No! Look at this. That hamburger fits right on that little spatula. Boop, flip it right over. Very simple. Very, very inexpensive as well. And the last thing, I love the vegetables. You mentioned vegetables. Love cooking them on the grill. So spray your pan up, season the vegetables, put it on there. Ooh, nothing better. That's all I think you need.
How important is it to preheat the grill, and how long do we preheat it?
You know, Jane, preheating it, how long you preheat it is up to you and it's up to your grill, but you want to get it hot. I love cooking on hot temperature. So close that lid, get it real hot. You want to sear that steak. You want to sear that chicken. You want to sear that pork chop. So get it hot. And again, we've talked about it, and I'm sure people have seen it all the time. They have the spray so it doesn't stick. It won't stick if your grill grates are hot enough. Make them hot, sear that steak, and manage the temp how you like to cook after you've seared the piece of meat that you have.
If your grill grates are hot enough, that's a great piece of advice there, Mr. Sizzle. So many grillers love to play with their food. They want to flip it over. They want to check it. They want to poke it. Should we just let it grill, or is it okay to play with your food?
Jane, don't play with your food. Put your food on there and make it a goal. I'm going to flip this steak 4 times. Now, if all of a sudden you get a fire built up, right? The fat creates a little fire. Of course, you got to move the steak, but move the steak to a different part to how it was. You don't need to play with your food. You don't need to flip. There's no advantage to doing that except create a little bit of action for you.
And any last tips you can give us before we start grilling?
You know, Jane, like anything, be creative with your grilling. Don't get bored with some. There's so many opportunities. You can take one steak and you can do it a number of different ways. You can use different seasonings, different cuts. Talk to your butcher. Just be creative and have fun with it, Jane.
Great advice, Mr. Sizzle. Thank you so much. And if you would like more information on Midwestern Meats, just head to their website. Nevada is the road trip capital in the U.S. And there's one stretch you don't want to miss, and that's Nevada's Highway 95. So let's check out the Free Range Art Highway.
Ready to hit the road? If awesome art, wide open roads, and weird Nevada wonderment get your gears turning, then, for the love of odd, Nevada's free-range art highway is the blank canvas for your next adventure. One far-out trip from Las Vegas to Reno. A little more than 1.5 hours northwest of Las Vegas, you'll find the historic mining town of Beatty, and the first stop on your road trip, Happy Burro Chili and Beer. This storied sagebrush saloon is a great place to beat the heat, get a lay of the land and surrounding Death Valley National Park, and swap stories with locals and road trippers, all while getting a taste of award-winning homemade chili and ice-cold beer. Ready for a ghost story? Or two? Slip outside Beatty for a quick 10-minute ride to the most photographed ghost town in Nevada. Part of Beatty's gold mining discoveries, Rio Lake Ghost Town was one of southern Nevada's celebrated boomtowns. The ruins are found around every corner, like the school, bank, jail, and more. Be sure to check out the Tom Kelly Bottle House, the oldest, largest, and most complete house made entirely of glass bottles in the country, along with Goldwell Open Air Museum's wild sculptures. Cruise an hour on up to Goldfield for the night, then bed down at the Santa Fe Motel and Saloon that puts you in the heart of this living ghost town's historic district. In the morning, head to the International Car Forest on the southern edge of town to discover a junkyard of painted, planted vehicles. With freedom of expression and art in weird places, the Car Forest is a great place to get to know Nevada's weirdest, wildest west. In a place made famous by actual fields of gold-rich ore, learn about some of the most famous gold mines in Nevada and the West at Goldfield's Florence Mine Tour. The mine claim brought in $650,000 in gold, an amount that would be more than $44 million today. The historic Florence mine has the only remaining hoist house in the once massive Goldfield mining district, which just so happens to be one of the best preserved mining relics in all of the Silver State. Kick back for the night in historic opulence at the Lux Mitzpah Hotel, a place still swanky after more than 110 years. The Mitzpah has been part of the Tonopah story since the beginning. With era-authentic chandeliers, antique cash registers, velour Victorian couches, and resident ghosts to prove it. Stay on the 5th floor, a favorite haunt of the Lady in Red ghost. As your last stop on this Las Vegas to Tonopah portion of the free-range art highway, dig your own Nevada treasure at Addison Brothers Turquoise Mine Tour. Sling your pickaxe into massive tailing piles with gems spanning the color spectrum, including robin's egg blue, cerulean, indigo, and teals. Best yet, you've only road tripped half the free-range art highway. Head up the road to Reno or make the return trip to Vegas. No matter where the road carries you, follow your curiosities on and off Nevada's eccentric slice of US 95.
Okay, friends, get out of the kitchen this summer and use your grill. Here's an easy side dish for you to make. Toss together black beans and corn, and then add a little chopped jalapeno. Scoop the mixture onto pieces of aluminum foil and fold it up into packets, and then grill it for about 8 minutes. Top it with queso fresco. Yum! Stick around, we've got more to come on Creative Living. We hit the water for a kayaking trip, and why solar may be the right choice for your family. If you hate those high energy costs, it might be time to consider going green and using solar energy to power your house.
Solar in the Southwest is very popular. Number one reason being because your neighbors are getting it. If you see your neighbors have it on their house, you want your home value to be the same. 18% home value over the course of 5 years. I mean, that's a big thing for somebody to say, okay, yeah, my home value is important. Also, the second thing is you go green. And the third thing is you save money. So the products that Suntria offer, they're all USA products. They're made in the USA, nothing's imported. We actually have a black on black panel. It looks appealing to everybody, and it's actually made in Texas. So it's here, that's what we really value our products on, is that they are made in the USA and nothing's imported. So solar is affordable for most homeowners because a lot of homeowners don't realize that over the course of 20 to 30 years, you're putting money into a utility company instead of your own pocket. So every year, 3 to 4% your utility company is increasing and you're having to pay that extra amount on your bill. If you put that into your home, you're gonna save more money. If you put solar on your home, you're actually going to end up saving an average of $100 a month from your utility bill. So if something breaks with your system, we have an in-house team that actually comes out and they provide all of the fixes for you. We have a 30-year warranty that we provide. It covers parts and labor. So if something happens to your system, we go ahead and we send out our in-house team and they take care of all your issues. On average, after purchasing solar, you can save anywhere from $50,000 to $60,000 over your lifetime. At Suntra, we have several financing platforms that you can choose from with different ranges of years and APR percentages. So you're never just stuck with one payment. There are many options for you. You do not have to buy the panels outright. There is a leasing option with low payment. You just do not get the tax credit. The employees that will come to your house to install it, they've actually been doing this for 7 to 15 years. They have really good experience. They're very intimate with their customers, so they will get to know you and they have all your needs. They're very, very well kept. They know everything about what they're doing. Our employees, in the course of 7 years, we've installed over 15,000 systems. If you're interested, you can visit our website or you can call the number. We have agents available to answer any questions you may have and set an appointment to learn more, and we can visit your home or schedule a video conference call.
In northern Arizona, the adventure of kayaking awaits you, so grab a paddle as we hit the water to see what it's all about.
Verde Adventures, we started this again back in the day, about 15 years ago. Nobody even knew where the Verde River was. It was like, oh my God, where do you go boating down here? And myself, I came from a river background, being a professional river guide for a number of years. I looked at this and go, why isn't anybody doing any kind of trips, tours, organized? And it wasn't happening at all. Started off with 6 boats, a Jeep, a laptop, and a cell phone. And today we take 20,000 people down the river. We have tandem kayaks. These are great for families when you have kids. The kids can ride in the front, the adult can be in the back paddling, being the navigator of the whole bit. Then we have little spuddy boats. They're like kayaks that are about 3/4 the size of a regular adult kayak for the younger adults just getting ready to learn how to paddle to go in. And then tubes. We have tubing that runs from Memorial Day through Labor Day. Get out here and be soaked all day long in the Arizona heat. Everything out here that we do are float trips. Everything is a float trip. If you fall out of the boat, stand up and get back in. The Verde's not that big of a river. It's more of a big creek than anything else. But it's very, very safe. We go down to 3 years of age for kayaking. For tubing, it's got to be 8 years of age or 4 feet tall. We're at the Water to Wine right now, the Alcantara Vineyard, the confluence of Oak Creek and the Verde River, and this is our signature trip. We started this with the Alcantara back in 2009. Have been doing it now, 12, 13 years, but this is a really fun little float trip, about an hour and a half on the river, where you float down this magic carpet of liquid energy and you arrive at the vineyard for a wine tasting. What keeps people coming back is the fun. The people they meet here, the people they meet on the river. River people are always fun. Good attitude, great environment. The peacefulness, you're never in a hurry. These trips are all self-guided. There is no pace that you have to keep up with. You can float at your leisure, or you can paddle straight through and on to your next adventure type thing. And the fact that we provide them with a great system of, all they have to do is show up. Everything else is taken care of. We're a seasonal business. We start operating about mid-February, and then we'll run till the end of November. If we don't get a winter like we did last year, then November stays very, very busy. So it is seasonal based upon the temperatures, the weather that we get. I love hearing people laugh. I love hearing people having fun. I mean, what better job on the planet can you have than entertaining people, and to see the smiles and to see the return people coming back sometimes every week, and you just kind of go, good God, thank you that we're able to do this, because not everybody is as fortunate as we are to have such fun, enjoyable, and beautiful jobs. Thank you, God.
If you're looking for a little twist for the grill, try some cauliflower steaks. Now you just cut the cauliflower head into 3/4-inch steaks, leaving in the core. Brush it with olive oil, add a little salt, and grill it for about 8 minutes on each side. Then top it with your favorite ingredients like cheese or ranch dressing. That is delicious. All right, let's see what's next on Creative Living. We talked to manual builders about design trends for your outdoor spaces and the top cars for 2022. Car buying is at an all-time high, and here to talk about all the new models for 2022 is the executive editor of Auto Trader, Brian Moody. Hey, Brian.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm excited to talk about the new cars coming out, but it's only summer and we're already talking about the new models for 2022?
It's a little early, that's true, but we are seeing some 2022 models. In fact, a few of them have already been out for a while, and you can even buy some 2022 model year cars. Part of this is pandemic related, part of it is from that microchip shortage, but also the business is just changing a little.
All right, with more people hitting the road now than ever, let's talk about some of the new hot cars for 2022.
Well, we'll start with a car that's hot in terms of popularity, and that's the new 2022 Honda Civic. This car is a little bit more of a premium experience for a small car. It's inexpensive, but it feels nicer inside and out. It's a lot more like, say, a baby-size Honda Accord. Some people even say it looks a little bit like an Audi. On the opposite end of the spectrum is GMC's new Hummer EV, the all-electric Hummer truck. It's got 1,000 horsepower in one version. It's so popular that their first edition, the one that has special badging and special release, already sold out. It goes off-road like crazy, has a clear roof. It can do these cool things with the wheels. It just looks amazing. And also that it's electric is kind of interesting.
Wow, now that is a hot car. So let's talk about the Bronco that everybody is talking about.
Right, and that's a good place to be if you're selling Broncos. The Ford Bronco is going to be a gigantic hit. Little bit of a delay in terms of it being available, but it's still going to come out. It's going to be a direct competitor with the Jeep Wrangler. The retro look plus its serious off-road chops mean it's going to be really just an amazing SUV. I picture it being popular with everyone from, I don't know, high school kids to families and everything in between.
Now, if we're out there shopping, what kind of deals should we look for?
Well, the short answer is not many. And the reason is, I know that's not what anyone wants to hear, but the truth is there aren't that many cars just sitting around. In fact, we recently found that there was a very short supply of minivans of all things. And so what that means is you're not going to go in there and say, tell you what I'm going to do. That's not going to work because there's a shortage of these specific types of cars, new and used.
Wow, that is very interesting. So times have changed really in the car buying world. So what are your top tips for shopping?
Well, so given what I just said about there not being an abundance of cars, the number one thing is be flexible. You're going to have to buy the car they have. So that means maybe you don't get your favorite color, you get your second choice. So being flexible is going to help you get what you want. And also just know ahead of time, going into it, I'm not going to be able to talk them down much because there aren't that many cars and there are a lot of customers.
Brian, thank you so much. For more information, just head to autotrader.com. Another treat to throw on the grill. Peaches. Just cut them in half and remove the pits, and then grill them about 10 minutes until they're lightly brown. You can serve them with ice cream or caramel sauce. And I'll take 2, please. Thank you very much. Don't go anywhere. Creative Living has much more coming your way. We talk about the latest features in outdoor spaces with manual builders. Manual Builders in Louisiana is on the forefront of home building, and they talk to us about creating an outdoor space for your lifestyle.
Whenever you're thinking about planning an outdoor living space, you want to think about the purpose that you're going to use that space for. So if you like to sit around and watch a football game on a Saturday night, then maybe we do an outdoor fireplace like the one behind me. But if you're a big cook, then maybe we talk about putting a grill and a side burner or a sink outside. It's all about what you're going to use it for. I think the amount of people that come in wanting an outdoor space is really high. Everybody likes to be outside. We live in South Louisiana, so we want to spend time outside. Some of the major things that we see clients request for their outdoor spaces are gas grills, we have side burners, we've got built-in trash cans in the brick cabinetry with maybe a sink outside or a gas fireplace on the back patio. Definitely some ceiling fans because it gets very hot here. Outdoor living space always creates value. Equity is a tough question whenever you're talking about the real estate market and whenever things add value there, but whenever you're building a home, you want to build it for you, so it's all about the value that it creates for you and your family. I definitely see the outdoor living space continuing as a trend. Now that we're getting to a point where we can spend time with friends and family again, what we're going to want to do more than anything else is spend time on the back patio, relax, have some fun with our family and friends.
Thank you so much for joining us right here on Creative Living. I'm Jane Klaus, and I'll see you next time.